Emile, my dearest one. Pour le comte, c'est très pressé.
Bien sûr, madame.
My dearest Emile, my husband has changed his plans. There is no other way to say goodbye. Remember me in your heart.
Who betrayed me in Paris? And why did you wait so long?
I found your ladyship's attitude surprising. The answers to those questions are no concern of yours.
On my knees, I beg you, I implore you to show mercy.
I'm not in the business of mercy, madam.
I haven't the money even if I wished. How could I without my husband knowing?
I think you'd be exceedingly ill-advised not to make an effort.
Do your worst. You will not have a penny from me, coward!
My grandsons were punished enough. I hear from them only seldom. They wish to spare me their misery, I think.
This monster who brought about their downfall.
He lives and breathes, Mr. Holmes, with a smiling face and a heart of marble.
You should have come to me sooner.
If only I'd known of you sooner. A friend gave me your name. He has a high regard for your sense of justice. Do you read poetry? The flyleaf.
Come, devil.
It is the only clue I can offer you. Maybe it will help. I wish nothing for myself, Mr. Holmes. It is too late for that. I wish only to save others.
$3.45 for London.
I felt great sadness there. To think that that house must have reverberated to the sounds of those boys growing up. A man who preys upon weakness with a smiling face and a heart of marble.
A master blackmailer. I have heard whisper of him, yet no one has put a name to him.
Well, there's no mention of blackmail, even a whisper in the newspaper account.
You have report of it?
Of her two grandchildren, George, the elder, at Viscount Croft, was caught in a moment of indiscretion, referred to in the paper as the Badger game. Seems to involve a gentleman being lured to the bed of a prostitute, then being discovered in flagrante delicto by a third party.
As usual, the sensational press has got it wrong. The lady was an actress, that is true, but there was no in flagrante. Mrs. Hudson!
He was married, Holmes, into one of the highest families in the land. The papers made plenty of that.
And the younger boy?
Edward. Now, in revenge for his brother, took a revolver to the footman, whose name was, Vike. Burst in upon him, shot him in the face. The man lived, but was disfigured for life. After the trial, he disappeared.
It is Vike we must find to lead us to our prize. Mrs. Hudson, are you not well?
Of course I'm well.
Then please, you know I hate the smell of cabbage.
Surely the brothers would know their tormentor.
The elder brother fled the country in disgrace. Edward joined him, having served his sentence. They're now living wretchedly somewhere in France. Goodbye, Mrs. Hudson. Thank you. There is one curiosity.
Can devil.
Read it. The clues, if you wish.
Ah, I do rather like Tennyson.
But later. I'd prefer you to direct your energies towards the gossip columns. The grasslands. The grasslands, Watson, through which our serpent glides.
Do tell us where you're going, Charlotte.
Oh, yes, do tell.
Lottie, where are you going? Shall I? Dearest.
What's that for them?
Tell them where we're going for our honeymoon.
I've no objections.
It's Budley Salterton.
How romantic.
It is actually very.
I should have to choose somewhere abroad for a honeymoon. Paris or Rome.
You may, Daphne, but if one's fate is to marry a soldier, abroad may well be one's whole life.
And your honeymoon, Lady Eva, have you and Harry decided yet?
Florence, Naples, Constantinople, I think.
Sounds delightful.
Now you've made him envious.
Not at all. Charlotte, my dear, I must return to barracks.
Shall I see you this evening?
No, duties forbid. A regimental dinner, alas. Ladies.
Lottie, he is gorgeous. He's divine. Such bears, such presents.
So lucky, Charlotte. But where is Budley Salterton?
Oh, I'm so happy for you, Lottie.
Every streamlet is clean. shadow spreads o'er the fields of grain. A behest to be glad that seems from all things streaming doth arise to my heart in pain. A behest to explore the utmost joy of being in this day of my youth, and while the evenings fair, for we shall all depart, as goes yon water free. That to the sea. We to the
What is this? It's not in my hand.
My dear Colonel, you don't expect me to give you the original, do you?
Where did you get this? Who gave it you?
Oh, well. Who but the object of your affections?
I don't believe it. It's not possible. What do you want from me?
£1,200. What? For it all to be blown away.
Never! I'll not part with a penny! I'll see you in hell first!
Think of your lovely bride, Colonel.
What have you done to me?
One has to ask oneself, how much butter can one eat?
Dottie Melsham, apparently, got 17 salt and pepper pots.
17?
It's true. Her singular way of dealing with it was to murmur politely, oh, always useful, until the awful day when always useless, she said to the Duchess of Teck to her face. It's true. Oh, well, Lily overheard her, didn't you, Lily?
Yes, m'lady.
Harry wanted us to be married at sea on a pirate ship with only the crew invited. But one really can't, can one?
No, my dear, one really can't.
I made an extremely foolish wager that I could outbox a young upstart of a dragoon.
And will you mend for the nuptials, my dear fellow, in 3 days? Be worth a small flutter in itself.
Bed socks, do you think? For cold feet? One really hopes they won't be needed.
my grandfather fancied himself as something of a pugilist. He was the 4th Earl. I remember one summer in Ireland. I must have been about 8 years old, I suppose. He decided to give me a lesson. I've never been so frightened in my life.
Lottie, what is it?
I landed flat on my back in a sand dune. I told my grandmother. Then I walked into a tree, the old reprobate.
Lottie!
What's the trouble?
Some letters.
Lottie.
Lover's tiff.
Or is it goodbye, Budley Salterton?
I must go to her.
No, my angel.
Prince Murat is about to marry Baroness de Hagenlob. He lost his first wife, Princess Mélie de Wagram, 10 years ago. Lord Rosebery hasn't accepted an invitation to dine at the Cutler's Feast in Sheffield.
You're not trying, Watson.
Well, really, Holmes. I've been reading things out since 8:30 this morning. You haven't reacted to a single item.
I shall react, I do assure you, the moment you read out something which captures my attention.
Oh, this is interesting. Lord Hawke's team of English cricketers are leaving next month for Philadelphia and Toronto. What on earth does that continent know about cricket? The Honourable Miss Miles has broken off her engagement to Colonel Dorking 2 days before the wedding. The most important item in a woman's appearance this winter will be her headgear.
Yes?
Come to light the fire for you, sir.
Not at the moment, thank you.
Go away!
Inspector?
Sherlock Holmes? Yes,
It's from Colonel Dorking. Who delivered it?
Is Batman? This is Colonel Dorking.
Whose engagement to the Honourable Miss Miles was broken off yesterday. You see, I was listening. It's Lestrade.
I don't know that he's in, Inspector. Inspector!
Mr. Holmes, you'll know what I'm here for.
No, pray tell me.
I've come for the letter, which arrived in that envelope. It was stolen from the rooms of Colonel John Dorking and delivered into the hands of Dr. Watson not 20 minutes ago. Do you have it?
Delivered, yes, but stolen? It was a personal note to me, Lestrade.
It's police evidence. The Colonel is dead.
Yes, we know. By his own hand.
Foul play is not suspected, is it?
How can you be so sure it isn't?
Because the note made it clear.
So, why should he write to you if he's topping himself? Did you know the man?
I had no knowledge of him.
Oh, answer my question. Or better still, show me the letter.
It'll tell you nothing.
Seems to be on the point of engaging you. He must have changed his mind.
And took a soldier's way out.
What does he mean by...
We'll never know, Inspector.
But he's engaged to be married, damn it. Yes. Well, wouldn't be the first time. It won't be the last. So, it was blackmail, you'd say?
Well done, Lestrade.
No need for sarcasm, Mr. Holmes. You're as much in the dark as we are, then, about who this blackmailer might be.
You can be sure of one thing. Colonel Dorking was not his first victim and will not be his last. Goodbye, Lestrade.
You will let me know if you hear of anything.
Hideous mistake. Need your services. The only pity is he didn't name the blackmailer.
He did. This came with the letter.
Charles Augustus Milverton. Appledore Towers, Hampstead, art dealer.
Camouflage.
C-A-M. Cam Devil.
I've had to deal with 50 murderers in my career. But the worst of them never gave me this sense of revulsion that I feel at this moment towards Mr. Charles Augustus Milverton. Milverton's lair.
It's a fortress.
Are you surprised? Charles. Augustus. Is he foreign? Roman? Prussian? He's built his own prison.
He's a man who loathes the human race.
What circumstances might bring him to that?
Well, boy brought up in lonely isolation, starved of affection, probably in one of London's outer suburbs.
Outer? Why not Soho or Leicester Square?
Because, my dear Holmes, those places with all their vices teem with warmth, generosity of spirit, and humanity.
That's interesting. Milverton. Right, I have an assignment for you, if you're willing, to visit an art gallery.
What will you be doing? Don't you think that the Honourable Miss Miles might be more worth a visit since Dorking wrote to you?
That is past, Watson. What we must do now is fasten ourselves onto his next victim.
So this evening I'm to discover all I can about Milverton.
His reputation, his background, how others perceive him.
So I engage him in conversation?
Yes, but with caution.
His lordship has been taken ill at luncheon, milady. It is feared he may have suffered a stroke.
Oh. Uncle Charles.
Her ladyship is with him now. She'll be pleased that you are back.
Oh, Diana. May I see him?
He's sleeping. Wait a little.
How bad is it?
Dr. Bailey is not optimistic. If he lives, he'll be paralyzed. Eva, there's a ceremony that I have to attend this evening. The unveiling of my portrait by a young artist. Just a brief appearance, but I promised him that I'd be there. Will you come and take care of me?
Of course.
Wait. Yes.
It's the maid. Come about the job, sir.
Ah. Well, come in then. So, what have you got to sell me, my dear? What is your name?
Lily, sir.
Ah, Lady Eva Blackwell. Hmm.
It occurs to me that I might not have been invited to this viewing, Holmes. What if I'm not admitted, huh? Holmes? Is that Mr. Holmes just going out?
Not that I recognize, Doctor.
Without more ado, ladies and gentlemen, I shall perform the ceremony for which we are gathered.
I think she's gentler and more beautiful than that. I should insist on Whistler painting you.
Formidable.
It was a great honor.
I would like to go soon.
The boys caught you to perfection, Lady Swinston.
I don't believe we've been introduced.
Charles Augustus Milford, at your service.
Excuse me. Lady Turner, I'm afraid.
My husband. Eva.
Forgive us.
A most beautiful lady. What? Lady Swinstead. I wonder, though, if he's quite got her mouth right.
Disaster.
So I know you.
Yeah. You work for Milverton, don't you? Is he good there?
It would be if it weren't for the ruddy plumbing.
Plumbing?
Of the spout. And it's always my fault.
Stop it! Look what you've done.
Shouldn't have.
That's not paint, is it?
Yeah. Hey, give us a kiss.
Get off! Get off, Robert! Get off!
I do.
Oh, we never sent for no plumber. Oh, hello.
It was Stokes.
Oh, was it? Huh. Oh, Robert. This is, what's your name?
Escott. We plumb the depths. It's my firm's motto.
He says you sent for him.
Where's the trouble? Oh, I
What's going on here? Hmm? Hmm?
I asked you what's going on here. He's come about the plumbing, Mr. Hepworth. I took the liberty of asking him to come and look at it. Didn't I, Aggie?
You have no right to take liberties. I'm in charge here.
But we do need it done, Mr. Hepworth. I mean, Mr. Milverton was only saying yesterday that there was a very ugly smell coming from the piping.
Very well. Carry on then.
Oh. Oh.
He came in late and went out early.
Thank you, Mrs. Hudson.
Shame, isn't it?
He was a fine statesman, Watson. It was his diplomacy, I'm told, which eased Anglo-French relationships at a most delicate time some years back.
I think that I was there, with his widow when the news was broken to her.
Milverton.
I only exchanged a word with him. A more calculatingly insincere smile I never hoped to see.
Charles Augustus.
He's described to me as a connoisseur in art matters, a businessman who can make or raise the fortunes of any artist to whom he devotes himself.
Stench of hell!
He's a member of a number of London clubs, on the basis, I suppose, that there are those who dare not oppose him.
Not the Diogenes. I heard my brother Mycroft that he presented himself and was turned away with a flea in his ear.
Your gentleman Blackmailer was born in Balham. The only son of a glazier and his wife.
Your source of information?
Oh, a variety of sources. I applied your methods. How have you fared?
I've entered the fortress. I'm a plumber with a rising business, Escott by name. Oh, the butler, who goes under the name of Hebworth, is none other than Vike, the footman, who was shot in the face. I'm certain of it. Perhaps he was employed by Milverton as a reward for keeping his silence during the Croft scandal. I wonder. You got air compression in your soil pipes, Mr. Hebworth. That's the cause of the evil smell in this house. What this wants is a save-all below it, so the dirty water don't get clogged up.
What the devil are you doing here?
Oh, it's the plumber, sir.
There's no need of a plumber in this room. Get out.
Oh, this is not the special room. You're a Billy boys. Back up now. It'll be our fashions for at least a week. Stay there. See you later. See you later.
Aggie.
Maximilian, it's my plumber.
Aggie?
I don't care if I do make him jealous. Great lump. Might fuck his ideas up.
I don't like your master, Aggie. I think he's a shady character.
You're right. He is.
Lily!
She won't come in for no job. What she want to work here for? She was a real lady's maid. You could tell by her clothes.
Well, what was she after then?
I think you're getting a bit too curious. Yes, you are. And I'm getting cold. Snuggling good. Kiss a kiss.
I don't know how.
Holmes, I've had an idea. A way in which we can bring this fellow Milverton within the grasp of the law. If we could tempt him to blackmail an innocent person, we should have him. Now, suppose I was to be the recipient of some indiscreet letters.
You, Watson, who would pray write these letters?
Someone of our acquaintance. Then you and your plumbing persona could offer them for sale. And at the moment of transaction, Lestrade would be on hand to arrest him.
But legally, we cannot move until some victim is prepared to sacrifice their reputation by going to the police.
There must be some way we can fight this devil.
There is. There is.
In a mere 3 weeks, my love, all this will be yours.
I feel unworthy of it.
Nonsense. There's no woman on earth more worthy.
I feel unwell.
I know what it is you're feeling. It's your Uncle Charles, I do understand. But we have our future ahead of us. We have each other for the rest of our lives.
Where can I find Monsieur Bertrand?
Good evening, monsieur. You see, I tried to bring a little bit of Paris to London. Camille's method is simple.
Camille?
C-A-M, Cam.
Watson, you know, sometimes you absolutely amaze me.
He allows it to be known that he is prepared to pay very high sums for letters which compromise people of wealth and position.
He received these letters from valets and maids?
Not only them. Sometimes, how do you say, genteel ruffians who have the confidence and affection of trusting women. No one knows where Camille's grip may fall.
And you are his agent, his conductor.
Me? No. We go back a number of years. Really, people are stupid enough to trust their servants.
Did you help conduct a housemaid to him recently?
And what is your interest, monsieur?
I have a friend who may have something to sell.
Oh, yes? Well, come this way. Tell me about him.
But he needs to know the procedure. The matter is delicate.
Of course. It always is.
He's a personal physician to the Duke and Duchess of Landish.
Huh?
Now, this housemaid who came by recently.
She's here tonight, celebrating her birthday. In a year from now, she'll be on the streets.
At whose expense?
Oh.
Blackwell.
Engaged the Earl of Dovercourt. They're to be married within weeks.
She must submit herself to our care. somehow, without delay.
How dare you come into this house? How dare you?
My dear young lady, a show of temper will avail you nothing.
I can't pay you. I haven't the money to pay you. Give me back my letters. Please. Leave me alone.
You must be resourceful in finding the money. You have influential friends. Surely they'll come to your aid.
No, they won't. Who can I tell?
That's not my concern.
This is really most irregular. He's expecting me, Johnson.
The Earl of Dovercourt, my lady.
Don't fuss, sir. There's a good fellow.
Darling, this is Mr. Milverton.
I'm honored to meet you, my lord.
And what is your business here?
Business? Shall we share with his lordship our little secret, Lady Eva?
No.
As you wish. My card, sir.
Thank you.
Good day to you both.
Stokes, what time is it?
4:20.
How much longer, Escott?
Well, if you'll forgive me for saying so, Mr. Hepworth, your plumbing's in a shocking state. It's the worst I've ever seen. Take the scotch in.
2 more days. Then you're out.
Come and see me tonight.
What? Oh, Aggie. I have it on good authority that she rides this way every Sunday afternoon. Would you recognize her?
Well, I've seen her likeness in the magazine. If she's with Dovercourt, I might.
Boy, get the horse.
Our doctor.
My godmother lives just over there. We could carry her if it's safe to lift the doctor.
Yes, there's nothing to it. Just fainted.
Darling?
I'm so sorry to be of so much trouble.
You lay where you are, my dear. You're in safe hands.
Thank you.
She's all right.
Lady Swinstead. All England shares in your grief. My colleague, Dr. Watson, is attending Lady Eva.
Poor child is very disturbed by the death of my husband.
There's nothing serious, Lady Swinster, but I would advise you to make her rest and get her own doctor to see her.
Of course. Thank you, Dr. Watson.
Lady Eva should need my services, please.
Eva.
It was Milverton who caused her fall. She saw his carriage. He wrings the nerves of his victims to add to his already swollen money bags. He is the worst man in London. See them slithered and slide.
Yes, is there nothing better we can do than spend our time here, Holmes?
Do you have any suggestions?
Huh? Well, confront him, challenge him.
The brain before the cudgel.
Meanwhile, just like him, he'll squeeze his victims till he's drained them dry. And we're doing nothing to stop him. Holmes?
You must eat, child. What's troubling you? Are you expecting someone?
No. I'm just thinking about my wedding.
Now tell me the truth.
What time do they go to bed in this house, Aggie?
What do you want to know for?
So that I know when it's safe to visit you.
You can always come in over the wall, throw pebbles at my window.
Which is your window?
I'll only tell you if you marry me, Ralph.
Oh, Aggie, Aggie.
Them's my toes.
You have such a way with words.
All right. I'm at the very, very top on the corner. And the master is the floor below, facing out to the garden. And Mr. Ebworth, he's on the ground floor, just across from the study. Blacks is sleepy, does. You can't wake him. It's a joke in the servants' hall.
Why don't he sleep upstairs?
Because the master wants him on guard. He's got loads of really valuable stuff in his study because he's an art collector. And he's afraid of burglars. Evil burglar.
You touch my heart.
I could make you a gift of mine.
Off you go, off you go.
Maximilian? Oh, let you out! Oh, come here! Come here!
What's this bloody racket?
Well, there.
Watson, you'll be interested to hear that I'm engaged to be married.
Oh, yeah? Very good.
To the Milverton's housemaid.
Good heavens.
I needed information.
Surely you've gone too far.
It was a most necessary step. I've walked with her, talked with her. Heavens, those talks.
But the girl?
Can't be helped, Watson. One must play one's cards as best one can when such a stake is on the table. However, I rejoice to tell you that I have a hated rival who will cut me out the moment my back is turned. What a splendid day it is.
Huh? You like this weather?
She's here.
My father died when I was 12. My mother stays in the country. Lord and Lady Swinstead opened their London home to me. But indeed, they arranged my season last year.
Give me your gloves. Oh, Mrs. Hudson, what do you think you're doing?
You haven't been out this morning, Mr. Holmes. And you don't have to be a detective to see that this young lady is recently up from a sick bed. Isn't that so, my dear? We must put some roses back in those cheeks.
Thank you.
The broth is an excellent idea.
Mrs. Hudson, will you vanish? I said vanish.
He was my first love. The son of some neighbors of ours in Suffolk. But we were ill-matched. He had few prospects. When I came down to London last year for the season, I broke off with him. I didn't realize how much I hurt him. He returned my letters, and I put them away in a trunk, which I keep with me.
Now, the substance of these letters.
Just a little foolish.
But sufficient to cause your fiancé misgivings.
Harry's so proud of me. It frightens me sometimes that I cannot live up to his expectation of me.
It was your maid who found these letters.
Lily, yes. I trusted her. I cannot believe she could have betrayed me like this.
How would this Lily know about Milverton?
I think the idea may have come to her through a misfortune that befell a friend of mine, Charlotte, who was to have married a Colonel Dorking. Mr. Milverton sent her some letters. They were very distressing. Lily and I were there when she received them. To think the same fate has befallen me.
It will be all right, Lady Eva.
What can you do? My marriage is on the 18th. He is demanding that the money be paid to him 4 days prior to the wedding on the 14th, on the day of the dance.
Dance?
Lord Dovercourt has arranged a wedding feast and invited half of London. I'm dreading
Now, if you will place yourself in my hands, I will inform Mr. Milverton that you've commissioned me to meet him to make the best terms that I can, huh?
I have limited resources, Mr. Holmes.
But enough for me to bargain with him, and I cannot approach him empty-handed. Good, good.
Thank you.
My felicitations to your godmother.
Lady Eva, you must trust Mr. Holmes and his methods, absolutely.
Mrs. Hudson will see what?
That young lady, Holmes, must be treated with infinite care, unlike your other recent escapade.
Ah, Watson, it took some nerve for her to come here alone. It is my belief that Lady Eva and the Milverton housemaid have something in common.
And what is that?
Juice. Watson, juice. In the face of adversity. Ah. Mr. Milverton.
Eva? 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 Lottie. I am so glad to see you. Paris wasn't the answer. You've been hard to find. What are you doing? I fell asleep. Johnson told me about your Uncle Charles. I'm so sorry. I stayed here to comfort Diana, but this house is so sad.
We'll call again at 6:30 CAM.
You ready?
Yes.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes. This gentleman, is it discreet?
Dr. Watson is my friend and partner.
It is purely in the interests of your client that I protested. The matter is so very delicate.
Dr. Watson has already heard of it. No?
Oh, thank you. Then we may proceed to business. You said in your note that you are acting for the Lady Eva. Are you empowered to accept my terms?
What are your terms?
£7,000.
And the alternative?
My dear sir, it is painful for me to discuss it, but I can say that all this is done with the most careful consideration. And if the money is not paid on the 14th, then there will certainly be no marriage on the 18th.
We are, of course, familiar with the contents of these letters. We shall advise our client to tell her future husband the whole story and trust to his generosity.
And then you evidently do not know the Earl.
What harm is there in these letters?
Sprightly. Very sprightly. The lady was a charming correspondent, but I assure you the Earl of Dovercourt will fail to appreciate them. However, if you think otherwise, it's purely a matter of business. If you think it in the best interests of your client, then it would indeed be foolish to pay so large a sum of money.
You go too fast. We would certainly make every effort to avoid scandal in so delicate a matter.
I felt sure you would see it in that light.
Damn you! Lady Eva is not a wealthy woman. £2,000 would be a total drain on her resources. The sum you name, utterly beyond her power. Return the letters at the price we indicate, I assure you. It is the highest you can get.
What you say may be true of the lady's resources, but surely the occasion of her marriage. Is that not a proper time for her friends and relations to make some little effort on her behalf? They may hesitate as to an acceptable wedding present. But this little bundle of letters would bring more joy than all the candelabra and butter dishes in London, wouldn't it?
It's not possible. It is not possible.
Ah, dear me, then. How very unfortunate. I cannot help feeling that ladies are ill-advised in not making an effort. Look at this. This belongs to... Well, perhaps it's hardly fair to tell you to whom it belongs until tomorrow morning, when it'll be in the hands of the lady's husband. And all because she will not find a beggarly sum, which she could easily do, simply by turning some of her diamonds into paste. It is such a pity. You may have noticed a small paragraph recently in the Morning Post. The sudden end of the engagement between the Honourable Miss Miles and Colonel Dorkin.
Yes, and its tragic consequences.
That was tantamount to murder.
How do you answer for that, Mr. Milverton?
How a man conducts himself under such circumstances is a matter for himself alone.
That is a monstrous assertion. It was you, and you alone, who caused his death.
And the sum involved, niggardly.
Indeed, a mere £1,200 would have settled the whole question. It's pitiful, isn't it? And yet here I find you, Mr. Holmes, a man of sense, boggling at terms, when the whole future and honor of your client is at stake. You surprise me, you do, really.
The money cannot be found.
Surely it would be better for you to take the substantial sum we offer than to ruin this young woman's career, which can profit you in no way.
There you're mistaken. An exposure would profit me indirectly to a considerable degree. I have 8 or 10 similar cases maturing. If it is circulated that I've made a severe example of Lady Eva, I shall find the rest much more open to reason. Do you see my point?
To see the contents of those letters.
Mr. Holmes, I've been expecting you to do something original. But this has been tried so often before.
Young Edward Croft, for one.
Croft?
The footman, Vike, who took the bullet that was rightfully yours.
You've done some work on me. So you must know that nothing ever came of an attack on my person. I'm armed to the teeth at all times. And I'm perfectly prepared to use my weapons knowing that the law will support me.
You may well have your chance to test your assumption.
Mrs. Hudson, I'm not to be disturbed.
Mr. Holmes, surely you don't believe I'd be so foolish as to carry my livelihood here in my pocket?
Just making sure, Mr. Milverton.
Well, now, gentlemen, I have one or two little interviews this evening, and it's a long drive to Hampstead.
Now, someone has dealt Milverton a blow.
An outraged husband. Just one of thousands in this great city who crave Milverton's destruction. And may yet beat us to it.
Holmes, I'm as fond of art as any man. But don't you think after yesterday's encounter?
Art is balm to the brain, especially in moments of decision. So, we've learned something about Milverton.
We've learned his ruthlessness, hardly a revelation.
We've learned of his vanity and, to a certain measure, his vulnerability.
I can see that the damage to his carriage might have unsettled him.
We must exploit such things.
Wanton vandalism.
Any chink in the armor.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, this is my friend, the Honourable Charlotte Miles. Mr. Sherlock Holmes and his partner, Dr. Watson.
Lady Eva, may I speak privately to you?
Miss Miles, please accept our sympathy. Mr. Holmes and I are fully aware of your situation.
That is most kind of you, Dr. Watson, but one has to live with one's mistakes.
He was unyielding. Please. Now, the next move requires your delicate cooperation.
I'll do anything you say, Mr. Holmes.
The dance in your honor.
On the 14th.
Ah, good afternoon. Mr. Stokes?
I told you I was not to be disturbed, girl. What is it?
It's Mr. Sherlock Holmes to see you, sir.
Oh, Aggie, you've touched my heart.
Mr. Holmes?
I'm here to inform you that my client accepts your terms.
She's acted with perspicacity.
She begs one small favor.
What is it?
The Could the exchange be delayed until the 15th? The Earl has arranged a dance on the previous night, and she is somewhat preoccupied with that.
The dance, yes.
So, 10 o'clock the following morning, we can do business.
£7,000?
As agreed.
Here or at Baker Street?
Here, Baker Street.
Neutral ground, perhaps.
The Diogenes Club. You are a member.
May I? Tell me, this sudden turnabout, was it on your advice?
I could not abandon my client to her fate, Mr. Milverton. You are the victor. What a divine fragrance.
My late husband and I were something of a second family to her, so you see my concern. This man who is blackmailing her.
Charles Augustus Milverton. He's an art dealer.
Yes, I've heard of him. He's well placed to hear the gossip and do his worst. What view does Mr. Holmes take of it?
Well, I'm sure he has something in mind, but he seldom confides in me till the last minute. Ah, Holmes. Lady Swinstead is fully primed of the situation.
Time is running out, Mr. Holmes. If it is a question of paying the money...
That will not be necessary.
You can give assurance, then.
That would be unwise in me, Lady Swinstead. But I assure you, I will give it my best.
I shall have to be satisfied with that, then. Mr. Holmes. This man must be silenced.
Does she know about Milverton? By name?
Yes, I told her. Was that wrong of me?
Oh, Watson, these bills, they must be paid. Oh, incidentally, I managed to secure an invitation for us both to the Dovercourt dance. The house is some miles from London, but in reach for my purposes.
What purposes?
I intend to burgle the Milverton house that night.
For heaven's sake, Holmes, think what you're doing.
Well, let us look at it fairly and clearly. You will admit that the cause is morally justifiable?
Yes, technically criminal.
No more than raiding his pockets. A cause which you were perfectly willing to help me.
That was on the spur of the moment, not in the cold light of reason.
Reason? There's no reasoning to be done, Watson. Nothing to test my brain. That's the curse of it.
Think. If you're caught, an honored career ending in failure and public disgrace.
What failure? What disgrace? Against defeat. You know me well enough that I would never adopt so energetic a course if another were possible. I must have those letters. And I have the house in the palm of my hand.
The cudgel before the brain. What of the odious Milverton? Do you think he's just going to open his gates and invite you to stroll in?
Milverton will be at the dance as the guest of Lady Evers.
That's monstrous, Holmes.
My self-respect and reputation are at stake. It's the only way.
Well, I don't like it. Any of it.
You have nothing to fear.
Eva!
Mrs. Hudson, why didn't you tidy for me? Where the hell are my shoes? Ah, good.
Shoes?
Yes.
Masks? Black silk handkerchief.
I see you have a natural turn for this sort of thing.
I wonder where I learnt it.
Take the usual precautions tonight, Hepworth.
I will. Enjoy your evening. Risk here, Holmes.
Yes, indeed. We leave in 8 minutes.
Excuse me, sir. The ladyship would like to see you upstairs.
Harry. That man. Is he an invited guest?
Milverton? Yes, it's something Eva's scheming. A painting. Clever girl's probably trying to whittle down the price by inviting him here. Worry yourself, Diana. It's all right.
How strange to see you here, Mr. Holmes.
Just mixing business with pleasure. There's no doubt you are.
Purely pleasure this evening, Mr. Holmes, I assure you. You will be keeping our appointment. Stout.
Sir?
I'm expecting a visitor in half an hour.
Sir.
Servants are playing while the master's away. Holmes!
That is strange. No time to lose at the door.
You made me curtail my evening's entertainment. I hope you proved worth it. You couldn't come at a more sociable time? Well, if you couldn't, you couldn't. If the Countess is a hard mistress, you have a chance now to get even with her. Bless the girl, what are you shivering about? What's better? Pull yourself together. Now then, let's get down to business. You say you have 5 letters which compromise the Comtesse d'Albert? You want to sell them? I want to buy them. So far, so good. It only remains to fix the price. Of course, I shall want to examine the letters. If they prove to be good specimens, then... Great heavens, is it you?
A woman whose life you have ruined.
You were so very obstinate.
Paris. 12
Why did you drive me to such extremities?
An episode long closed.
I had to fly of my own accord.
You waited for the moment when the stake was most worth winning.
What was I to do?
And so you sent the letters to my husband.
Means you would not pay.
A man whose boots I was never worthy to lace.
Oh,
you
madam,
broke
I
his
do assure
gallant
you.
heart. Vile creature! That day, I came here. I prayed, I begged you for mercy, and you laughed in my face. As you were trying to laugh now, your coward heart cannot keep your lips from trembling.
Don't imagine you can bully me. I've only to raise my voice.
You will ruin no more lives as you have ruined mine.
I can call my
You
servants
will
and have
wring
you
no more
arrested.
hearts as you have wrung mine,
I
Charles
will make
Milverton.
allowance for your natural anger. Leave the room at once, and I'll say no more about it.
I will free the world of a poisonous thing.
You done me.
Fire. Lady Winston, you're free.
Run! Run!
Now, gentlemen, sale of the property of Charles A. Milverton, Esquire, deceased. Lot 1, box of miscellaneous objects, trinkets, correspondence. Do I hear £5? Thank you, sir. Any advance?
A steward to a noble household, making sure.
Lot 2. Bust of Athene, ancient goddess of wisdom, industry, and war. Now, what do I have for this fine marble statue? £10? 20? £20? 30? Thank you, sir. I have £30. 50. I have £50, sir. 60? 80. £80. 90. £90 against you, sir. At 90. £100. More, sir? Advance on £100. Sold to the gentleman over there for £100.
Mr. Holmes!
Bought it in an auction, Mrs. Hudson. It cost £100.
Why has he smashed it?
I thought there might be something in it. I'm not unhappy to say that I was wrong. Thank you, Mrs. Hudson.
And why, as a point of interest, Holmes, did the Frenchman want it?
Sentimental reasons? Just making sure. No, Watson. There are certain aspects of which I am not proud. Please, bury this case deep in your pocket.